Latinos fight for a change. A Latino is a person whose family's origins are from Spanish-speaking Latin America. They are also the largest ethnic group in the country. They are also incredibly diverse. Latino laborers. Most Latinos living in the southwest United States were migrant farmers. Migrant farmers work long hours, moving from farm to farm to provide labor needed to plant, cultivate, and harvest crops. The crops harvested were types that required bending over all day long. Cesar Chavez. He is a Hispanic labor activist who fought for the better working conditions on the migrant farm workers. He grew up in a migrant worker family, saw the terrible conditions they endured, and Chavez had a friend, Dolores Huerta, and they felt the best way to make life better for workers was through unions. They created the United Farm Workers Union, created by Cesar Chavez to organize Mexican field hands in the West. Cesar Chavez left a legacy. He died in 1993 and became focused on education in his later years. He felt it was for the greater equalizer and the best way for Latinos to gain more rights.
Is to really destroy the farm worker movement and to destroy it in such a way that will take away the rights of the workers to do basically two very important things in order to defend themselves and win contracts. One is that it takes the right to strike from us, and it also takes the right of boycotting.
Why do you need those rights? Well, what's so important about that?
Well, you see, we maintain that agriculture is different, has always been different. This is why agriculture and farm workers were never organized before. As long as we have a poor country bordering California, it's going to be very difficult to win strikes, as strikes are won normally by other unions. We don't have an employer, as is the case right now in one of the strikes we have with the Butte Gas and Oil Company, where we've closed them down, then have been unable to get strike breakers, or we've gotten very few, and then all of a sudden yesterday morning they brought in 220 wetbacks. These are the illegals from Mexico. Now, there's no way to defend against that kind of strike breaking, and so therefore the only way to win strikes is by then taking our fight to the citizens, to the people in the cities especially, and have them help us boycott those products that we're striking, and we need that. And that's the only way we've been able to get contracts, and I venture to say that without that, we couldn't possibly organize unions.
Well, this is then you
in one way. The only way they can go to the public and ask the public to vote to take the right to strike of farm workers and the right to boycott is by then coming around and saying that they're very concerned about the rights of workers, that workers should have the right to a free election, to a secret ballot election, and these things. Well, what's really happened is that Proposition 22 really, in its opening paragraph, really says that they're really interested in what they call the uninterrupted production, packing, processing, transporting, and marketing of agricultural products. This is their main concern, which means then that they're concerned about strikes and boycotts. Then, as an afterthought, they say that workers are free to organize. But then they go right back and take away all those freedoms that workers need to organize.
Well, how about the secret ballot?
That an informed public would vote against it. You see, because
Two is a stab in the back to every working man and woman in California. It would undercut the whole concept of collective bargaining. Now, if you single out the farm workers and say that they don't have rights that other Americans have, sooner or later that philosophy spreads. It's like a disease. And the place to stop anti-labor legislation of that kind is for the voters of California to reject proposition.
Conservative candidates took drubbing at the polls partly because their rhetoric concerning Latinos. Barack Obama won the Latino vote by 70% in the 2012 election. Issues facing the Latinos today: the DREAM Act is an act that allows children of undocumented immigrants to become citizens if certain requirements are met. they need good moral character, graduate high school, and 2 years of college or in the military. This is a proposed law that some states have adopted.